Well, if you are a Magic Key annual pass holder, then you've probably heard the news that sales have come to a screeching halt. In fact, Deadline has reported that when the park rolled out the Magic Key program last August, it was meant to signal, according to a Disneyland announcement, that, quote, you belong to the community of core Disneyland fans who all share a passion and love for the parks, close quote. There are 4 tiers of Magic Key passes, ranging in cost from $3.99 to $13.99 per year, with the $13.99 Dream Key and the $9.49 Believe Key sold out, which happened this past year. And as of this past week, the $6.49 Enchant Keys and $3.99 Imagine Keys were no longer available. Sales being halted there as well. Current Magic Key holders can still use their passes to make reservations, and park officials said they would be permitted to renew their passes, though further details were not immediately available. The Magic Key program replaced the park's popular annual pass program, which was canceled in January 2021, partly as a way to limit daily crowds during the coronavirus pandemic. And Tyler, your assessment of Disney suspending sales at all levels just 2 months away from the 1-year anniversary of the Magic Key program debut.
It's kind of confusing. It really is. I guess in their head they think they screwed up. Which I was always okay. So if we go back and we rewind the tape, we were always a little bit confused that they, for years we've been hearing that they didn't really like the annual pass program. They wanted to change that up. They wanted to not have as many annual pass holders. And then they came out with this Magic Key program. And really, there were reservations, but besides that, it was pretty much the same program. It really was, with a different name. So it was always a little bit confusing to me that they didn't make more changes, to be frank. And I think at this point, they're now paying for that, at least in their mind, because they're probably getting back to the same point where a lot of the people in the parks are annual pass or Magic Key holders, whatever. Let's just call it annual passes. Can we stop? Can we stop with the Magic Key, please?
It's a fun name.
Is it? I don't know. Believe Key, yeah, that means a lot. That's not confusing at all. Dream Key, yeah. Everybody understands what that is.
Maybe.
Dream about a reservation, believe you'll get it.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I love that. That makes me laugh. Anyway, I just think that they're getting back to the same place they were at, and they're not happy about it, and they are realizing that enough people want to come in, and they can make more money off of it. They can make more money off of these day tickets, or even they'll probably come out with, more discounts and stuff down the road on these day tickets. And that's my assessment. I just think it's, they messed up. I think that's what they did, and they realize it now, and they want more money. So,
and you might be onto something here when you talk about, they messed up or maybe weren't calculating things correctly, because the lack of transparency going towards this renewal process is so bizarre.
Yeah.
And it feels like it's being, it is complicated, but it feels like it's being unnecessarily made to be complicated.
Right.
And
so Disney.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
There is no clear instruction. There was a message on apps. If you have the Magic Key on your Disneyland app, there were messages on people's apps here, like last month, talking about the renewal process. That's now gone too. And so you have all these different pieces of information. It's like Disney doesn't even know what they want to do. Mm-hmm. They seem confused. And now this is raising even more questions as to wait a minute. So if you have one, you'll get to renew it. Are you going to sell the same levels moving forward? Are you going to drop 2 of them and keep 2 of them? What are the plans here? And being just 2 months away from that 1-year mark, to not have a plan, to not have anything laid out for your park guests, especially the most, and I think people need to understand that when it comes to the California consumer base, and even some people that have these passes on the outskirts of California that have purchased them, these passes are something that when Disney had the annual pass program before it became Magic Key, there were over 1 million annual pass holders. This is not a simple, small demographic that's worth ignoring or acting like it's going to go away. Yeah. There was over 1 million.
And they used to do private parties for renewals.
Right.
Yeah. They used to have it whenever like there's like during the quarter of your expiration, they used to have like a little private party they would invite you to, and you can invite like I think like one other person. So his was on one quarter, mine was on the other quarter, so we got to have 2 parties.
Plus ones.
Yeah, and then you know what happened when they got rid of those? They gave you buttons.
They did.
You got a button.
And $1
Congratulations.
refill popcorns.
Elevated experience.
Yeah.
By any regard.
For sure.
You know, I also wonder if they have been doing a lot of guest research and stuff on these things, and realize that a lot of people are very unhappy. Like that could also be another thing too. So I think it could go in a number of ways.
When they reduce the discounts, one ticket only has parking, the other one has 50% off parking, and the other ones you can't even add parking on like it used to. And then reservations are like hard to come by. So I'm curious if they're gonna like fluctuate. And then I don't know, like they used to do like the Max Pass where you can like add Max Pass onto your annual pass. So I wonder if they're gonna possibly do like Genie Plus. You can add it to your pass for like $500 or something, just to get a little bit more, because they may not even use it. Like we did it and we added it onto our passes, and then we used it a handful of times, but they're still able to make a profit off of it. But I don't know if they're going to reduce like more discounts. You be like 10%'s the max, or are they going to start limiting it like they used to do in Disney World? Like Disney World annual pass is like a joke. Like you can show up and you'd be like, do you take annual pass here? And they're like, no, like not at all. Like no, like any quick service at Magic Kingdom, 0. And then there was like some places where you go sit down dining, and they're like, oh no, we only do like annual passes for lunch, or we only do it between like
breakdown
3 and 4. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, that's a bummer.
So
and it's
bizarre.
like 10%. It's not even like the 20 or 15 we used to get here.
None of the hotels offer, like if you go to the food courts at the hotels, they don't do it either. It's like, what?
So I'm scared Disneyland's going to do that too now. I'm like, oh God, please don't take away my discounts. Because it's nice, because everywhere you go, they give the discount.
And I assumed it was a way of really tracking and data mining, going into this. Who's using the discount? Who's buying things? Who in the Magic Key annual pass breakdown in terms of who has which key? Who's really buying something here?
Yeah.
Who do the discounts really matter?
Sure. I think in Florida the difference is the Magic Bands track that for them. So they don't need to give you a discount. Now they just everybody has a Magic Band, so they can see the percentage through that.
How many people show up in Houston?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're tracked everywhere at Disney World, right?
Yeah.
And when the Magic Band Plus finally debuts here later this year out on the West Coast for Disneyland, soon we'll all be tracked. They'll know everything that we're doing.
So
but
great.
It's on its way, but certainly leaving a lot of questions unanswered this close to the 1-year renewal mark for so many annual pass holders. And the reason why I mentioned here a little bit earlier that there was over 1 million annual pass holders is that is a gigantic demographic of park guests that come to Disneyland. That no doubt, even though they probably sold a little less when they did the Magic Key, that was like their whole shtick, no doubt it's still gigantic numbers like that. So this is why we talk about these things, because this impacts a whole lot of people that come to the parks.
Oh, yeah.
That definitely those folks that show up after work, some people that live up in Northern California but that come every other month, that sort of a thing. There's all kinds of demographics here that make up this Magic Key program.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. I know that there's a lot of stigma around the annual pass holders themselves, especially from folks that are not pass holders. We hear that an awful lot of individuals saying, you know what, I pay full price every time I come. What's the big deal?
And this is just going to divide people even more. I mean, it really is. And now you have people who are in this echelon of a pass that you can't even buy anymore.
Yep.
So, and they're going to keep on coming. I wonder if at some point they're going to say, okay, that's it, no more renewing or what that's going to be like. But even like a few weeks ago or like a month ago or so, there was a scare that people that had dream passes wouldn't be able to renew at all. And I don't know, it just seems like bad marketing, but I guess they don't really care that much because they're still making money. So
well, they know people are still going to show up. I mean, at first they slowly just took away things, and like what Disney does best, right? They sweep things under the rug, and they just kind of like hope you guys they just stay still and hope like you don't see them, and then you can like yell and scream and be mad for like 2 minutes, and then it's like your child, right? You let them cry it out, and then you move on. And that's what like Disney's doing to annual pass holders, because like before they used to give, when you would renew, they used to give you a discount, right? They wanted you to renew because they would give you, depending on your pass, you would get like $100, $200 off. And then they would give you the party to renew as like a gift. And then they started slowly going to buttons, and then slowly going to dollar popcorns, and then slowly doing the weekly pin drops. Remember when they used to, or the buttons, the weekly buttons that you used to get, and there used to be huge lines for these stupid buttons that we even did. We're like, oh my god, we gotta get these buttons.
Collectors.
And so we would wait we would wait and like get the recipe card over at Food and Wine Festival and the button of the week, and everybody's like freaking out about it and trying to trade, whatever. And then but now it's like they don't care. They're just like, they're gonna get rid of the annual passes like they did, and then they're gonna like raise the rate. We're not gonna yell about it. We're still gonna pay for it. They're going to slowly, like, they reduce this pass, like these passes, like more than the old passes. They reduce the discounts, they got rid of the parking and stuff, but people who want it paid for it, right? The ones, they wanted the parking and they wanted the 365 access, which really isn't a 365 access unless you're really good at planning, you know. And like they're gonna do it again. They're like trying to figure it out, and it's just really sad.
Yeah, I think we're likely to see a shaved down offering even further than what we see now, with significant restrictions imposed, and on top of that, gigantic price hikes in the process. So we did take a viewer poll recently over at the Kingdom Report YouTube community page, and we asked, specifically, should the Disneyland Resort eliminate the Magic Key annual pass? This is our audience. 47% said yes, eliminate and return 2 day tickets. So purchase a ticket per day to get in just like everybody else. 45% said no, keep the Magic Keys, and 8% said no, charge more and limit Magic Keys more. So 47%.
I think this really speaks to how upset people are about the reservation system. Like that's really what I think this is about, because because you couldn't buy the Dream Key for more than, it was only around for like what, a month or a couple months or something.
It wasn't very long.
And you know, that if you couldn't get that, if you didn't get that pass, and you're out of luck now, then you're gonna get jealous of all these people who can come more often than you. But then on the other hand too, it's like day tickets had more days, like there were more days that they could reserve, like, whereas with the Dream Keys they were cutting people off on the weekends and stuff, whereas like a day ticket could still get in. So I don't know, I think the reservation system is making people upset, but I don't see how else they could do this, honestly.
I want to know, where is the Magic Key program going? We certainly posed that question to you. Things are shifting again. We were here a year ago wondering sort of the same thing as to exactly how it would all pan out and play out, and how it would work. And we watched as one key after another started shutting down, with the Dream Key and then the Believe Key. And now all keys are off the table. You let us know in the comments what you think. We'd love to hear your perspective.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.